Welcome to our deep dive into the life and works of the Renaissance genius, Leonardo da Vinci, whose remarkable achievements in art, science, and engineering continue to inspire and captivate people around the world. Early life. On April 15, 1452, da Vinci was born in a farmhouse near the Italian village of Anciano, about 18 miles west of Florence. Ser Piero, a well-known Florentine notary, and Caterina, a young peasant woman, had him out of wedlock, so Ser Piero and Caterina raised him together. At the age of 5, he moved with his uncle and grandparents to his father's estate in nearby Vinci, which is where his last name comes from. Education. Young da Vinci didn't get much formal education beyond learning how to read, write, and do math, but his artistic skills were clear from a young age. Around the age of 14, da Vinci moved to Florence to work as an apprentice for the famous artist Andrea del Verrocchio. He learned a wide range of skills, like how to work with metal, leather, wood, draw, paint, and make sculptures. His first known work with a date was a pen and ink sketch of a scene in the Arno Valley. It was made in 1473. Early works. At age 20, da Vinci became a master artist and joined the Guild of St. Luke in Florence. He also opened his own workshop. Despite that, he kept working with Del Verrocchio for another 5 years. It is thought that Del Verrocchio finished the baptism of Christ around 1475 with the help of one of his students, who painted part of the background and the young angel holding Jesus' robe. Giorgio Vasari, an artist, wrote the book Lives of the Most Excellent Painters, Sculptors, and Architects around 1550. In it, he says that Del Verrocchio was so embarrassed by his student's talent that he never picked up a paintbrush again. However, most scholars think Vasari's story is made up. In 1478, after leaving Del Verrocchio's studio, da Vinci received his first independent commission for an altarpiece to reside in a chapel inside Florence's Palazzo Vecchio. The Augustinian monks at San Donato a Scoppito in Florence asked him to paint Adoration of the Magi 3 years later. The young artist, on the other hand, would leave the city and leave both commissions unfinished. Was Leonardo da Vinci gay? A lot of historians think that da Vinci was gay. In 1476, da Vinci and 4 other young men were charged with sodomy in a Florentine court. Sodomy was a crime that could get you sent to prison or killed. The charges against 24-year-old Leonardo da Vinci were dropped when no witnesses showed up to testify against him. For the next 2 years, no one knew where he was. Leonardo da Vinci paintings. Even though da Vinci is known for being an artist, there are less than 24 paintings that are thought to be by him. One reason is that he didn't paint very much because he had so many different interests. The Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, and Vitruvian Man are some of da Vinci's most well-known works. One Vitruvian Man. In 1490, da Vinci drew a sketch called Vitruvian Man. It showed a naked man with his arms and legs spread out inside both a square and a circle. This sketch was a perfect blend of art and science. To The Last Supper. Around 1495, Ludovico Sforza, who was then the Duke of Milan, asked Leonardo da Vinci to paint The Last Supper on the back wall of the dining hall at the Santa Maria del Grazie monastery in Milan. The masterpiece, which took about 3 years to finish, shows how dramatic it was when Jesus told the 12 apostles at Passover dinner that one of them would betray him soon. The masterful composition comes to life through the variety of facial expressions and body language of the people at the table. Because da Vinci chose to paint with tempera and oil on dried plaster instead of painting a fresco on fresh plaster, The Last Supper has quickly lost its color and flaked off. Even though a bad restoration job did more damage to the mural, it has now been stabilized with modern techniques for preserving art. Free Mona Lisa. In 1503, da Vinci began to work on the Mona Lisa, which would become his most famous painting and, some say, the most famous painting in the world. The mysterious smile of the woman in the half-portrait, which comes from da Vinci's sfumato technique, is what makes the privately commissioned work stand out. The fact that no one knows who the woman in the Mona Lisa is only adds to its appeal. Princess Isabella of Naples, a courtesan who hasn't been named, and da Vinci's own mother have all been suggested as possible models for the masterpiece. People have even thought that the person in the painting wasn't a woman at all, but rather Sally, da Vinci's longtime apprentice, dressed in women's clothes. The Mona Lisa, however, is a picture of Lisa del Giocondo, the wife of a wealthy Florentine silk merchant, according to an early biography. The fact that the painting's original Italian name was La Gioconda backs up this theory, but it's not a sure thing. Some art historians think that the merchant ordered the portrait to celebrate the upcoming birth of the couple's next child, which means that the woman in the painting could have been pregnant at the time. Whether or not the Giocondo family did order the painting, they never got it. The Mona Lisa was always a work in progress for Da Vinci because it was his attempt at perfection, and he never gave it up. Today, the Mona Lisa is a national treasure of France and hangs in the Louvre Museum in Paris. It is protected by bulletproof glass and seen by millions of people every year. For Battle of Anghiari in 1503, Da Vinci also started working on the Battle of Anghiari, a mural that was to be twice as big as the Last Supper and was to be put in the council hall of the Palazzo Vecchio. He stopped working on the Battle of Anghiari after 2 years, when the mural started to fall apart before he could finish it.